1588 Barrington is a legendary building in the city.
I went to the Khyber and it was really a welcoming place for me.
It's a Victorian Gothic revival building. It's got this giant turret on the front of it. There's something about the magic of the turret itself, of the building itself, and everybody that I've talked to in Halifax has a story from some time in the space. So the building at 1588 Barrington Street was built in 1888, and it was opened by the Church of England as the Church of England Institute. It operated like that for about the first 100 years, 1976 until 82. An organization called the Gay Alliance for Equality ran the Turret Club there.
The Gay Alliance for Equality, or GAE, was an activist gay and lesbian organization that was founded in the immediate aftermath of the Stonewall Rebellion in New York, which had happened in 1969. One of the reasons we needed a place of our own is because we could be legally discriminated against by other bars. Any bar or restaurant or business could refuse service to us legally. The club was on the 3rd floor up here, and that's just from the stairwell. This is the main space showing the dance floor. Over here in the corner is the turret itself, and that's where the DJ was. It was very important that we had a club that was actually controlled and operated by the gay and lesbian community. You know, it was very, very dangerous to be out publicly.
In '94, by then, the city of Halifax owned the building, and an organization got together and in '95 opened the Khyber Center for the Arts. In the '90s and early 2000s, they also ran the Khyber Club, which was a bar on the main floor, as well as arts programming and gallery shows on the 2nd floor.
You were always rubbing elbows with people, which meant that musicians, visual artists, people going there to buy queer books and magazines or to dance at the queer club. It created a space for very fertile interactions among different communities and different kinds of people.
When I think about the history as a whole, I see all of these different iterations where a new group has come in and activated the space. But the way that that torch has passed is almost like a story of precarity and eviction.
The building is now empty after asbestos was found inside, and some long overdue maintenance is now being done.
In the winter of 2014, after evicting Khyber Centre for the Arts and Nova Scotia Heritage Trust, rather than abate the hazardous materials found, the city chose to put that building on the surplus list, which would have meant it could have gotten sold to the highest bidder. So myself and folks from the Khyber and other interested community members got together and said, no way.
At this meeting hosted by the Friends of the Khyber, they are rallying their supporters to try and send a message to council. The Friends of the Khyber already have 1,500 signatures on a petition to keep it as a public art space. Musician Joel Plaskett says the Khyber is an important part of Halifax's culture.
If it goes, what it represents is bigger than the building itself.
So after kind of the first big push to make sure that it was removed from that surplus list, it started to put together a plan of what would it look like if instead of the city owning the building and renting to artists, what if the community owned the building?
This is 11.1 Administrative Order 50, Disposal of Surplus Real Property, 1588 Barrington Street, Halifax, commonly known as the Khyber.
People would confuse the Khyber Center for the Arts with the Khyber building. And so we needed to kind of make a mark for ourselves as an organization and chose the name the Turret Art Space to nod to the queer history of the building.
Our plan as a society creates an innovative reimagining of this building.
For me, what drew me to the 1588 Society was I think a goal of bringing marginalized voices, marginalized communities to a central place. Downtown Barrington Street is about as central as you can get, I think.
That motion is carried. All right, thank you.
So buying the building in 2018 for $1 seems like, wow, that's the most magical win for the art sector in Halifax, and like this project could unfold the next day. But really, it's been a lot of work from 2018 till now to get the pieces in place to really activate our plan. After 10 years of activity, the Turret Art Space actually still has a ways to go.
The whole life cycle of the artist is considered through professional development, and then the youth of Leave Out Violence, and then the emerging artists of the Khyber. From the moment that we can move ahead with drawings and going to construction, the whole time period would be 2 years, but again, that is waiting for funding.
The idea of it coming back is wonderful because it's such a beautiful space, and a space that we know gives rise to really creative and interesting interactions between people.
I always say your nose is right on your face, right? But unless you have that reflected back to you, you have no idea what your nose looks like. We need a place where we can see ourselves reflected back.
This is already a cultural asset in the city. The Turret Art Space has just developed what we think is the best plan to activate it. It's already here. It is already the nose on the face.
For all of the people who have come into this building, they will have those kinds of narratives. But I think at the heart, if you listen to those stories that people share, at the heart of it is that sense of completeness, sense of wholeness. As elders, you know, we owe that to the next generation, a chance to be healthy, physically, mentally, spiritually.